Hey everyone, I haven't done a video in a little while. I figured I'd do a video of Wes loading some of these big pine logs. Hopefully you can hear me. We got started up on this new job in the vineyard and we're cutting some nice pine. It's not, the whole job isn't all pine like this, but there are some pretty good sections that have some good pine. And you can see a lot of it. There's some bigger chunks. I don't know if they're getting the whole thing, but this is some of the better pine I've cut in quite a while. It gets a little rougher on this side and the tops when you get up into the very top of the tree, but for the most part it's like 4/16 and then like a couple short logs, like a couple 10s or 12s or something. And but it loads so quick. Wes and I were just talking, and he's kind of running out of room out on the yard. That's a big one. So I've had to double cut most all this stuff with the buncher. Now, I don't know if the size or the perspective on how big of some of this stuff if it shows, but there's one up here that I don't know. It had to be close to 4 feet. So some of this stuff I haven't had to cut it by hand because I have the buncher. I've cut a few by hand. I have to go back in the first section, and there you can see the big pine tops up there. The house is up there, and I just don't have enough room to work around the back side, and I do feel like I have a little more control hand felling with the chainsaw. It works pretty good with the buncher, but I like having a little bit more control, so I'm going to hand cut those few. So some of this pine, obviously I can't get my feed wheels around it, so I can't measure it. So I got my handy, I think I talked about my rule, and it's got that little hook that you hook on the end, and you'll run up the tree and score it with the chainsaw, and then if it's just way too big, I'll saw it off with a chainsaw. I'll show you in a minute. I got my chainsaw strapped to the processor, and so I'll score it, cut it up, and then I might trim some of the bigger branches, and then some of the other ones that aren't too big, but I have a hard time getting my feed wheels around. I'll go with my rule. I have a can of like road spray paint, the ones that are meant to be pointed down, and I'll walk up the tree and spray paint where the log where I want to cut it. And that way, if I can't get my head around the tree very well, then here's that one of the big pines. That's a big one. Look at the size of that thing. You know, that old cat wouldn't have picked that up. Look at the size of that. That's a big friggin' pine tree. The next one's even bigger. That old cat, I don't think it would have picked that up. Look at the size of that thing. Look at that. I still don't think it shows perspective very well. I'm counting how many logs. That's about full. I'm gonna put one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 or 15 logs, which that'll be half a truckload. That's pretty impressive. Look at that. See, that's one of that kind of gets into the rougher tops there. Look at Look at the back of that thing. It's a nice looking buggy of wood. I'm gonna try to put one more up there, I guess. Probably plenty. Probably a little overloaded. Well, that's certainly a good buggy on there. He's got, pine's not as heavy as hardwood logs, but that's still a pretty damn big buggy. I guess there's like 16 or 18 logs on there. I guess it's got some gaps in there, so that's not as quite as overloaded as it looked. But that is a big buggy of pine logs there. Anyways, I was starting to talk about, well, we're just running out of room, but look at that. That's how you make money. You're getting a little tippy there. I don't know what he's doing, but anyways, I'll show you where I put the chainsaw. So with this big pine, I have to kind of fool around a little bit, and like I said, I use the rule, and then I'll spray paint marks, and then that way, if I can get it with the processor, I'll whittle on it with that, and if it's just way too big, then I'll take the chainsaw out and cut it up with that. But here's I have a bunch. All right, I'm gonna throw this in the video too. I'm gonna try to show you what I was talking about with working up the pine. I got my can of spray paint. Here's my clip, or whatever you want to call it, and you put it right down there like that. See it? Let me get my hands back here. Alright, now we're gonna walk up this pine tree. Now, this is how I would have done it when I cut wood by hand too, so we're gonna go see if there's 17. So we cut it 16/6. So we'll go up here and mark the second log, and that'll be 33. So we hit 33, and there we go. That just gives me where I know where to cut, and then I can work up the rest of this tree. See, those branches aren't very big, so this is a younger pine. But anyways, I figured I'd throw that in there so you guys can see that. Well, alright, well, I just thought I'd do a quick video there, just before I tripped there. I was talking, it's just this big pine. This processor is not made to work it all up, so you got to get creative. I think I've talked about it before, so I'll show you. This is the can of spray paint I like to use because it's got the this little thing right there, so I can point it down and mark the logs. And sometimes I'll carry a log with me that I already measured, set that up against it to measure it, and just some little tricks like that. You know, with this head, you'll take the head and cut some of the bigger crotches, and you know, pine gets a lot of swell next to the branches and stuff, so you'll trim those off a little bit, and just to help, especially when you get to the top where the head can get around it. If you trim some of those knots, it'll let the head pass through it a little better. Anyways, thought I'd do a video. I hadn't done one in a little while, so like, subscribe, comment, and we'll catch you later.